Okay, dear parents, our dear guests, and those who join us from other schools and other organizations, welcome to our iSort channel, where we run trainings and webinars and conferences for you, our parents, and our colleagues from different parts of Russia and even from all around the world. My name is Len Stolarchuk. For those who don't know me, I'm the coordinator for the School of Tomorrow in the CS and the Baltic States, and also the founder and the CEO of the International School of Tomorrow. And today we'll have a board that is going to share some very interesting information with you, and I will introduce just the key member later, and she'll introduce the rest of the team. But first, a couple organizational things. Пара орг-моментов. Как вы уже убедились, мы ведем все на английском языке, и для тех, кому нужен перевод с английского на русский, вы идете вот в вашем зуме в нижнюю панель, где вы видите иконку такого земного шара, написано interpretation, или если по-русски translation, перевод. Соответственно, выбираете там русский язык, и у вас уже трансляция будет на русском языке в переводе. Поэтому вот сейчас найдите, вы можете мне в чате маякнуть, что вы нашли эту опцию. Я сейчас чат открыл, я вас, если что, вижу в чате, так что можете маякнуть, да, что вы пользуетесь русским переводом, если вам он нужен. I just made an announcement or for those who need Russian translation to switch to the Russian channel and to be able to get information there. You're also welcome to turn on your cameras. We always love to see your faces. You don't have to, it's not the demand on our part, but we always appreciate your faces and your smiles. So today we're going to talk about graduation, and I see that Mrs. Irina Karovina and all the senior students are there. Guys, okay, you can wave to us. Thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate that, because you might also benefit from this information. So we're going to talk about your graduation options. And you know, at the International School of Tomorrow, we provide two programs. One is the Russian National Program with bona fide diploma, because we have a license, we have accreditation, and we can give the bona fide diploma for the Russian program. However, because we are an international school and we have a lot of international students from more than 34 countries, we also provide documents from abroad, namely from the United States. And for this reason, all the students are dual enrolled. And today we also have a visitor, actual guest speaker, who will share about International Baccalaureate. And from this point, it's my privilege to turn it over to Mrs. Natalie Stafeeva, who is in charge of our School of Tomorrow program, and she's working a lot alongside with Mrs. Julie Benedict with you graduates. Mrs. Natalie, over to you. Please introduce the team that is going to be talking today and more details about the topic. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Len. Good morning, dear students, dear parents. Good afternoon, dear parents, because as I know that we have parents all over the world, not only in Moscow. And we are going to conduct two sessions. We are going to talk about diplomas, and we are going to talk about the places where you can use your diplomas. We have two speakers, Mrs. Angela Verutina, the supervisor of the senior level, and we have Yaroslavna Karpova, who is conducting session from Yekaterinburg and not in Moscow. So that is why it's good afternoon to her. And she will be speaking about the places where you can enter the universities. So again, some information that if you would have any questions, you please write them in chats, and we will give you some time and give us some time to answer those questions. So basically that is it. And I would like to give a floor to Miss Angela Verutina with our first session. In Russian it is called дипломы школы завтрашнего дня и не только. You're welcome, Miss Angela.
Thank you, Mrs. Natalie. It is my privilege to speak today about School of Tomorrow diplomas and other documents. So our school, International School of Tomorrow, issues the diplomas and other documents on which it is written Lighthouse Christian Academy. In other countries, transcript and diploma. Lighthouse Christian Academy, or what we call it LCA, this is our partner school in the United States of America. Since our school uses its program and has its model status, we can receive accredited diplomas from Lighthouse Christian Academy. What set of documents do we receive? This is a diploma, a proof of students' graduation from school. This is a transcript with subjects and grades in it. And this is a verification letter. This is a proof of students' studies in the Lighthouse Christian Academy and International School of Tomorrow. In the verification letter, you may find the explanation what dual enrollment program is, what contract we have between our school and Lighthouse Christian Academy, for the universities could know about that. Over here, this is just a sample of each document that we issue. On the left, you can see the diploma of Lighthouse Christian Academy. This is college preparatory diploma. This is how it looks like. So in the middle, you can see a transcript, which this school issues. So with all subjects and grades students received. And on the right, you can see just a sample of a verification letter, where there is a student's name, when he or she was enrolled in this school, and also the contract which our schools have. Sometimes it happens that students need their diploma, or not diploma, I mean verification letter, or their transcript, which is still incomplete, in the middle of the academic year when they are still studying. So what do we do in this case? In this case, so a student should approach the teacher and make a request approximately 2 weeks before. LCA will email the incomplete transcript, a projection, and the verification letter to the teacher. And the teacher, or it's me, usually Mrs. Angela, so will provide these documents to a student. So a student can use those documents for sending to his university. This is how projection looks like. Since in the transcript you will not find all courses which are already complete, because some of the courses are still in the process, like current courses, yeah? In this case, so projection would show that what other courses are still in the process and must be finished to be shown on the transcript. When a student completes all requirements of the high school, so usually we need to prepare an apostille or an authentication for him. This is a special legalization process which enables a public document issued in one country be recognized as valid in another country. There are two types of legalization. One is called an apostille, and another is called authentication. There are some countries which recognize only apostille, because those countries are members of the Hague Convention. Here are just some examples of such countries. This is Russia, Turkey, Great Britain, Australia. And there are other countries which recognize only authentication. Among those countries, you can see Taiwan, China, Canada, United Arab Emirates, Vietnam, and many others. You may have a look how apostille and how authentication look like. Actually, they have absolutely different view. This is the first page of each document. If you want to know whether your country needs an apostille or authentication, you may use the following link for finding out about that. What I want you to know, first of all, apostille is valid for any country that recognizes it. Let us say that you ordered apostille for Germany because Germany requires it, but then you found out that you want to study in Russia. Russia also requires apostille. Since on the apostille it is not mentioned for what country it is done, so you may use it for Russia as well. If we speak about authentication, this is a different story because authentication process usually goes through the embassies. And authentication is valid only for the specific country. For example, you have made authentication for Canada, which requires it, but then you found out that instead of Canada, you want to study in United Arab Emirates, which also requires authentication. Unfortunately, you cannot use this authentication document for another country because it should be done through the embassy of that specific country. Sometimes it happens that you need two sets of documents, apostille and authentication. In this case, our school will pay for one set, but parents will pay for the second set. Costs usually vary, so depending on the country, approximately 150 up to 250 United States dollars. Legalization process. How long does it take when your child has completed all the requirements of our school? For apostille, it takes 1 to 3 months. For authentication, it takes 4 to 6 months to complete. You may ask, how to apply to university if legalization takes long time? In this case, you may request an incomplete transcript when you are still studying at school but need to provide it for your university. Or if you're already done with all your requirements, you may take the complete transcript. It will be final without legalization and submit it to the university. Let's take a study case. A student completes graduation requirements in May. What are his steps? First of all, he has to request his official final transcript, diploma, and verification letter from his teacher. It will be sent from LCA to the teacher, and the teacher will give this letter, transcript, and diploma to a student. A student submits it to the university. If the admission is already received, you study at that university waiting for the legalized set of documents from 1 to 6 months. When it is done, you just add or submit legalized documents to the university. Speaking about document shipping, this is a very big problem right now, I would say, because all shipment services from the US to Russia are suspended. What do we do in this case? You need to provide the address, the email, and the mobile of a person in another country. It may be the country where you have relatives, friends. In this case, UPS service will deliver your legalized documents in 3 to 5 working days when they are already prepared. Sometimes it happens, then you need to apply to a university via online application forms. In this case, they ask you to write down what school you have completed, so who the counselor of that school is, and explain the dual enrollment program. In this case, we do recommend to write down the school, Lighthouse Christian Academy in Madison, Tennessee, United States of America, to give their school number and to provide the name of the school counselor, who is Lisa Crowder, and her email. Why is it necessary? Because sometimes they need the school profile. And since your diploma is from the Lighthouse Christian Academy, so they will make a request to Mrs. Lisa Crowder, who has to send the profile of the school. And also in the comments, you may mark down that this is dual enrollment program. What I want to say about the documents. I strongly recommend that all needed documents, so you could request beforehand. Recommendation letters from the teachers, incomplete transcripts, or any other papers from the LCA. Because usually during summer vacation, most teachers are not available and you cannot order recommendation letters or any other papers from LCA. That is why my strong recommendation, please order everything beforehand, contact our administration, and we will try to help you. Here you can see my contacts. So in case if you still have any questions, so you're welcome to contact me and to ask those questions. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Angela. We gave you very brief information because every case is a unique case. Now, in general, you know what types of diploma we are giving, and we were talking about the international diploma. I know that we have parents here present whose students are working, and they may get 2 diplomas, which is the Russian diploma, аттестат зрелости, and the international diploma. So that is why you have to remember about it, and you should not be afraid that if your child will not get a particular diploma to enter the university abroad on the system of dual enrollment. Okay, so now we talk about diploma and other documents which we do provide together with it. And you understood that it's not our school who is issuing that diploma, though you're all the students of our school, or your kids are the students of our school, but the diploma you are getting from our partner school.